Are you ready? Okay. It's not up yet. It's not up. The Committee on Budget Appropriations and Finance meeting of July 17th, 2024 is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, can you please read today's agenda into the record?
The Committee on Budget Appropriations and Finance will meet on Wednesday, July 17th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the Earl B. Otley Legislative Chambers on St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, to receive testimony on the proposed fiscal year 2025 executive budget for the government of the Virgin Islands of the United States. Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System, invited testifier, Ms. Tanya Marie Singh, Chief Executive Officer, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System. Block 2, VI Casino Control Commission, invited testifier, Mr. Marvin Pickering, Chairman, VI Casino Control Commission. Madam Chair, this concludes the reading of today's agenda.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can I have the roll call, please?
Senator Marvin A. Blyden. Present. Senator Blyden, present. Senator Samuel Carrion. Senator Carrion, absent. Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff. Senator DeGraff, absent. Senator Ray Fonseca.
I'm here.
Senator Fonseca, present. Senator Novell E. Francis Jr.
I'm here.
Senator Francis Jr., present. Senator Donna A. Fred Gregory.
Here.
Senator Fred Gregory, present. Senator Javon E. James Sr.
Present.
Senator James Sr., present. Madam Chair, 5 present, 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We've established a quorum. Do we have any correspondence to be read into the record?
Yes, Madam Chair.
You may proceed.
Letter dated July 17, 2024. Addressed to Honorable Donna A. Fred Gregory, Chair Committee on Budget, Appropriations and Finance, 35th Legislature of the Virgin Islands, Capitol Building, Charlotte Amalie, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, 00804. Dear Chairwoman Fred Gregory, I regret to inform you that I will not be able to attend today's Committee on Budget, Appropriation and Finance meeting, scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. in the R.B. Otley Legislative Hall on the island of St. Thomas. Please accept my apologies for my absence, and I kindly request that it be recorded and excused. Your cooperation and understanding in this matter is appreciated. Sincerely, Samuel Carrion, Senator, 35th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. This is the end of the correspondence, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to the listener and viewing audience, and good morning to the testifiers that's here with us today. Welcome. Today we will hear from the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System and the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission as they provide testimony in support of their FY 2025 budget recommendations submitted by the executive branch. Testifiers, I see that you're ready to roll. So we're going to make this a good day, a good morning. What we're going to do, we're going to start with the CEO, Ms. Tanya Marie Singh. We're going to ask you to put your name and title on the record, and then we're going to start with my right, your left. You'll put your name and title on the record, and then we'll move to the other side. CEO Singh, you may proceed. Please recognize the mic of the testifiers. One more time. No, one more time. Try it again.
Testing, okay. Tanya Marie Singh, Chief Executive Officer, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
Ralda Mason, Director of Human Resources, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
Yunel Maduro,
One second.
interim.
The mic, please turn on the mics. Turn on all the mics, please. Proceed.
Yunel Maduro,
No.
check. Good.
It's not on.
Yunel Maduro, interim director, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
Okay.
Nedra Thomas, Chief Financial Officer, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
Marie White, Senior Financial Officer.
Next person. Bring the mic to you.
Kiatinique Thomas, Disaster Recovery Specialist, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
All right. Media, can you please turn up the mics? We're having a hard time hearing. Do you have anyone on St. Croix?
No.
Okay, perfect. You may proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Senator Fred Gregory, Chairwoman of the Legislature's Committee on Budget, Appropriations, and Finance, members of the committee, and other members of the 35th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. I am Tanya Marie Singh, Chief Executive Officer of the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System. I am here today to respectfully request your support of the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System's 2025 fiscal year budget in the amount of $4,431,902. Today in the well, I have with me Nedra Thomas, the system's Chief Financial Officer, Marie White, Senior Financial Officer, Kiatinique Thomas, Disaster Recovery Specialist, Ralda Mason, Director of Human Resources, and our Interim Director of Engineering, Yunel Maduro. The Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System continues to be the PBS member station in the territory. We are also the NPR member station serving the Virgin Islands. PBS provides its member stations with educational programming in arts and performances, historical, cultural, and scientific areas, in children's fare, and in news and public affairs. It also provides educational resources to its member stations to support the educational development of individuals starting at the preschool level. NPR offers a broad range of high-quality news and informational programming to radio stations through programs such as Morning Edition, All Things Considered, Fresh Air, and Throughline, to name a few. In short, WTJX is part of two nationwide systems that continue to be a trusted resource for our community. In 1972, the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System began to transmit, and next month will mark 52 years that WTJX TV has provided non-commercial, educational, cultural, and entertaining programming, along with informative and public affairs programs to the people of the Virgin Islands. We will be celebrating WTJX FM's 10-year anniversary on the air in January 2025. We continue to expand our local programs on radio. This year, we added the Commissioner's Corner with Education Commissioner Dion Wells-Hendrington to our lineup. We also live streamed this program visually online. The organic coverage of the television and radio stations extend beyond our borders to the British Virgin Islands, Vieques, Culebra, and the easternmost areas of Puerto Rico. The system receives oversight by an 11-member board. Presently, we have 10 board members and 1 vacancy. Senators, I'm proud to report that once again, our audit is unmodified and there were 0 audit findings. We are, however, experiencing threats to our financial future. As you may know, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting contributes approximately 18% to our overall funding. Last week, the House Appropriations Committee passed the FY 2025 Labor HHS Appropriations Bill, which eliminates the 2-year advance appropriation for CPB. The committee noted that it does not believe that CPB should continue to receive a 2-year advance appropriation, and thus is not including the advance request for FY 2027. It looks like the House will take up this bill on the floor at the end of July. We are concerned that during the floor consideration, there could be introduction of more amendments that would seek to do more harm to public media funding. For example, last year we saw an amendment introduced that proposed rescinding previously approved funding. I will keep this committee posted on any definitive CPB funding concerns. Our recovery continues to inch along. Our architectural and engineering firm has finalized the design for our new Haypiece facility. We are awaiting favorable response on our federal consistency determination. Once this is received, we will submit permits to commence demolition. We have made progress towards the digitization of our tape archives. We've received several quality bids for restoration and digitization. However, due to the cost of this project, we're seeking an increase in funding from FEMA. We have 2 projects at our transmitter site located at Mountaintop St. Thomas. Our contractor is currently mobilizing to begin the necessary repairs to the building, and we're in the design phase for the rebuild of the small office located on the property. Speaking of our transmitter facility, we applied for and were awarded a grant of $795,000 through the Virgin Islands Energy Office for a microgrid at that location. This will include solar, batteries, and UPS for our most important yet most remote facility. We're working closely with the Energy Office to move this project along as best we can. This fiscal year, we jumped feet first into our news bag. And if I do say so myself, we are providing an outstanding news product on all of our platforms. Last fall, we premiered 2 news programs. On radio, we began the WTJX news feed with our radio reporter, Marcelina Ventura Douglas. The radio news feed is a dynamic half-hour news show that airs weekdays at 5 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1 and subsequently available on demand on our website, the free WTJX app, or wherever you get your podcasts. On television, we launched our Sunday news and information show, Comes with the Territory. This is an hour-long show that airs Sundays at 1 p.m. and repeats at 7 p.m. and Mondays at 8 p.m. This program is currently on hiatus. It will return the second Sunday in September. Comes with the Territory features a newsmaker at the beginning of the show and then breaks out to a knowledgeable panel that analyzes current news, events, and issues impacting our community. We rounded out our news offerings in February. When the St. Croix Avis sadly shuttered its operation in January, I reached out to its bureau chief, Tom Ader, in hopes of expanding our news to an online publication. People still like to read their news. Fortunately, we moved swiftly and brought Tom on board, and we now provide digital news stories on the newsfeed.wtjx.org. Let me say that again smoothly. Newsfeed.wtjx.org. Our news endeavors have truly been a giant undertaking as my staff and I pour our entire selves into providing trusted, fact-based reporting to the people of the Virgin Islands on the system's multiple platforms. Staying true to our mission, WTJX provided quality programs throughout the year. In terms of local programming, we renewed 2 series, Recovery in Focus, Season 4, hosted by Adrian Williams-Octolin, which provides viewers with recent developments in the territory's recovery, and The Bookcase, Season 3, which is hosted and co-produced by Shauna K. Richards. We introduced, or in some cases reintroduced, the following local authors and books to the community: Bradley Christian, Quadrille; Ashley Ruth Molinar Bernier, Ripen; Perline James, A Frank Conversation with Today's Youth; Michael Fleming, Elijah and Paba; Sylvanus Donai, A Caribbean Man's Perspective on Race, Religion, and Capitalism in America; Janet Millen Young, Because They Dared; Dr. Karen Turlan, Masqueraders, Musicians, and the Old Time St. Croix Christmas Festival; Torhera Durand, How Anansi Spun Madras; Abdul Ali, A Matured Seed Tended to with Helping Hands; Tamika Lorray, My Island Home, St. Croix; Rick Grant, When Storm Winds Blow; Melissa Fredericks, Myrrh, A Caribbean Underwater Adventure; Ruben Dowling, The United States of Hamilton; Rudell James, 2020 Near Perfect Vision, The Corona Effect; Ajib Prince, 10 Steps of Killing a King; Johanna Samuel, Passion and Purpose; Maxine Fredericks, Living Life to the Max; Valerica Bryson, Rika and the Tamarind Tree; Howard Jones, Julianne, Queen of the Ruins; and Jael Paul, Brown Brothers Save a Friend. We aired the following Christmas season programs: the 47th Annual Challenge of the Carols, live from Emancipation Gardens on St. Thomas; Partners for Strings, Virgin Islands Youth Steel Orchestra present Blow the Trumpet, Peace and Joy Have Come to Earth; Superior Court Rising Stars Youth Steel Orchestra, a holiday tribute to our past, honoring the legend and the legacy; and the Crujan Christmas Festival Children's and Adults Parades. We broadcasted live Governor Albert Bryan's 6th State of the Territory address, the St. Thomas Carnival Children's and Adults Parades, and the St. John Celebration Parade. We rounded out our local programming with Education Under U.S. Rule, a program in partnership with the Radical Education and Advocacy League, LLC, and Right to Democracy. We hosted a panel of educators and education leaders from 5 U.S. territories: Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, as they discussed their respective education histories and how the public school curriculum can be a tool for local empowerment and self-determination. WTJX also aired programs from its national partners regarding the Virgin Islands. Prime among them is Great Performances at the Met Champion, which is the operatic retelling of the dramatic story of St. Thomas boxer Emil Griffith. Bass baritone Ryan Speedo Green stars as the closeted young hatmaker turned prize fighter who rises from obscurity to become a world champion, and in one of the great tragedies in sports history, kills his homophobic arch-rival in the ring. We aired The Good Road, St. Thomas USVI, Not Just Iraq, which follows Dr. Marilyn Brandt and her scuba diving scientists as they attempt to study and rehabilitate the existential threat to coral known to be the lungs of the planet. Also, The Good Road, St. Croix USVI, Farm Tech City, which explores how people are transforming the food and tech landscape on the island. Pivoting to national topics, we broadcasted Freedom House Ambulance, the First Responders, which tells the history of America's first EMT service, which was comprised solely of black men and women recruited from Pittsburgh's Hill District neighborhood. Their groundbreaking work became the basis for all paramedic training in the country. We aired the 6-part series Power Trip, which explores tailoring energy initiatives to individual societies. We premiered Lila in the Loop, a dynamic 7-year-old black girl with an African-American father and a Jamaican mother. Lila and her close-knit family and friends teach creative and strategic problem solving and critical thinking to 4 to 8-year-olds. Not only did we air Brief Tender Light, a documentary which reveals opportunities and obstacles for Black African students at MIT faced as they experience American culture and its embedded racism. We partnered with UVI and the Department of Education to screen the show to high school seniors on St. Thomas and St. Croix with funding from the film's distributor, POV. The students in the documentary's goal was to return to their respective countries in Africa and better their home. Not all of them returned. This issue was one of the discussion points for our high schoolers who attended the screening. We also aired Beyond Barbados, the Carolina Connection, which traces the historic influence of the small island on the wealth and success of a place 2,000 miles away, the Carolinas. Beyond the broadcast, WTJX continues to support our community. Of note, we were extremely proud to partner with the Virgin Islands Basketball Federation, the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, and Government House to host a recognition ceremony and reception and a parade for the VI gold medalists of the Central American and Caribbean Games. The Virgin Islands women national basketball team and archer Nicholas D'Amour won gold in their respective sport at the CAC Games. To honor their accomplishments and raise VI pride, WTJX played a pivotal role in planning and executing the ceremony and parade, which showed these athletes how much this community appreciates their hard work and tenacity. As I conclude my presentation, I would like to publicly thank my staff as we continue to navigate the challenges facing every single media company. Given the weight of our 24/7 operation and our desire to provide excellence, it can be so easy to be overwhelmed by the tasks before us. I'd like to thank everyone who continues to support our stations, such as our board of directors, donors, members, underwriters, on-air contributors, and partners who are so generous and patient with us. I'd like to thank the legislature and the administration for maintaining our funding. Through this funding, we are able to continue to open up a world of possibilities through the power of our platforms to benefit the people we serve. Thank you for your time. My team and I look forward to addressing your questions and concerns.
Thank you for your testimony. Colleagues, we're going to go to a 4-minute round. And we're going to start with Senator Marvin Blyden. Let me just add my voice to your testimony. The work that you've been doing with the news it's really good work. We know that we've been challenged with us getting news in the Virgin Islands within the past few years, and with the closure of the Avis, it has become a lot more challenging for us. So I really want to congratulate you for that work that you're doing, and I also
Thank you, Senator.
want to congratulate you for the Analyze This program. Lots of us, to include the elderly population here, we look forward to listening to the Analyze This. This is how we know what's happening in the Virgin Islands. So it's a well sought out program. So congratulations to you on those two things. But please, whatever we can do to ensure that we maintain that news section is important to us, because these days news don't come about so easily. It doesn't. So a lot of things we've been learning from, I mean, you guys are definitely in tune with what's going on, and you do the necessary reach out, and you really have an excellent news programming program that you're sharing with us in the territory. So I want to congratulate you and your team for that.
Thank
Out
you.
the gate is important to us. Okay? Senator Blyden, you're recognized for your 4 minutes. Oh, before he goes, please mark Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff as present. Good morning, Senator DeGraff, and thank you for being here. All right, you may proceed, Senator Blyden.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Good morning to my colleagues, viewing and listening audiences, staff, Central staff. Good morning. CEO Singh and your supporting team there with you, and thank you so much for your testimony. I say ditto to that also. Your team got your ears to the ground. That's important.
Thank you.
And we appreciate that. I'm going to go directly to the post-audit report. So, Ms. White, I guess most of my questions will be coming to you. Oh, that's true. It's my bad. Let me ask, under the category of utilities, just clarify for me, is that an error, 1,700 for 25 projections, or is it in a different category? Page 4 of 12. Under utilities.
That is not an error.
Speaking to the mic and state your name, please.
Nedra Thomas, Chief Financial Officer. That is not an error. That is deliberate. What you're saying there is just for cable. We pay our electricity from our CPB grant. Yeah, we're going to pay that from our grant in fiscal year 2025.
Okay, very well. And in respect to the CPB grant, I heard the concerns that with the stuff that's going on in Congress, and you get a 2-year advance. How much do you receive or expend on an annual basis with that grant?
I'll have our CFO respond.
That varies, but in most cases we spend all of it. Most of it goes to our PBS dues, some $760,000 a year.
Wow. So that grant is critical. As you said, it's 18% of your budget, correct?
Yes, for fiscal year 24, it was $1.3 million.
We have to keep a close watch on that, and if not, we have to come up with a plan B, because it's critical that your operation continues. Let's go to page 7 of 12, your contract listing. You have a chart below with different businesses, etc. You have 2 for professional service, 1 for track media services, and another one for Shaniqua Robinson. What type of service do they provide in respect to your operations?
Track Media Services schedules, they're contractors that schedules the television, all 3 of our channels. And Shaniqua Robinson is a contract producer on St. Croix.
Okay, very well. Also on page 9 of 12, outstanding obligations. Let's talk about that for a minute. You have a listing of outstanding vendors.
1 minute.
It's only $45,000, which is not much, but these are many vendors, and most of them state net 30 days paying as agreed. Explain that to me, please.
Ms. Thomas. Marie White, Senior Financial Officer. As of June, our outstanding obligations were $14,368.67. We pay our vendors
30 seconds.
timely and within the 30-day payment period.
Okay, thank you for that update. And I believe you stated you have, how many vacancies do you have? 5? How many
I will let
vacancies do you
Ms.
have?
Mason respond.
Currently, we have 6 vacancies.
6? Okay, in respect to your vacancies, I saw one for Director of Development and Fundraising. How long have this position been vacant and what's been done
Time.
in order to fill that vacancy? Because I note that you really need some
It's
support
been
in that area.
vacant since January, and it's a tough position to fill, but we are actively attempting.
Why is it tough?
Because the salary is not attractive for the amount of work that the person does.
So what are you doing about that in respect to the salary?
I have met with my board, and I'll meet with them again.
Yeah, that's a very important position because I saw you have a category for that in 0. So we need some revenue in that category to help you with your operation. Thank you so much for what you do. You guys are doing a very good job and continue a good work. Thank you so
you.
much, Madam Chair, for the time.
Thank you, Senator Blyden. So who does your, currently, who does your marketing? You have a
We
marketing team?
just hired a marketing director. He's been on for about a month and a half.
Okay, I think I met him.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay. So your marketing and your fundraising are 2 separate positions?
Yes,
Okay. So you said you lost that position in,
January.
so you've been out of a fundraising lead since January. So that's what, 7 months almost?
Yes.
Give or take. So how have you been dealing with that side of the business?
So the vice chair of our board is the first development director that the station had, and she's been helping.
That's
Yvette Delabanc.
Ms. Delabanc. She is so dedicated to WTJ.
Yes, she
it's
is.
amazing. Yeah, it is. Shout out to you, Yvette. Yeah, I watch it all the time. I see it all the time. Very dedicated. I didn't even realize you were on the board.
Yes.
Okay. So you say you have 6 vacancies?
Yes.
And those became vacant in this fiscal year, all of them? Or they're have you filled any positions in fiscal year? How many positions have you filled in fiscal year 24?
For fiscal year 24, we actually filled 8 positions,
And you lost?
and we lost 9 in.
So why are you having, I mean, you're a small organization. Losing 9 positions in a fiscal year is a lot for your size. What's the, what are you hearing? Or is there a survey that's conducted, or do you do an exit meeting? That's the question.
I agree. It's a
Yeah.
lot. I would say it's for various reasons. For instance, we lost an employee in December that didn't want to meet the wanted to be vested in the GRS. He works with us on call still. We separated from 2 employees in January for some nonsense. And then we have folks that moved here and didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. So those are our challenges. I think that's the rezoning challenges that we've been hearing. Once the younger employees get close to that vesting period,
Yeah.
they're in fact leaving. So we need to figure out how to fill that gap, how to really address that as a government, because the last thing we want to do is lose our younger employees. We need them.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need them. So you filled 8, lost 9, and now you have 6 vacant. And those vacancies that you have, you are actively trying to fill them, correct?
Correct.
So, and do you have the available funding to fill them in this year?
Yes.
Okay, and again, you said something about your help me here, CPB funding, and that that funding is in jeopardy?
It's I would say we need to keep a close watch on it.
And how much do you receive?
For fiscal year 2024, we received 1.3 million. It fluctuates, but generally it has been just over $1 million.
And it's basically entitlement dollars that you receive, or you have to, is it competitive? How do you receive those funds?
It's based on a formula.
It's a formula.
Partly of it is from the base, so they have a base that they give everyone based on their appropriation. Another part of it is based on our non-federal financial support. And so our allotment from the VI government contributes to that grant because it's taken into consideration how much we are able to raise in, say, for fiscal year 24, it would be 2022. And they will have a multiplier. They will also have a portion, a small portion that goes to, because we are considered rural and small urban. And so we get an incentive grant as well as part of the makeup of the 1.3 million.
And are we, CEO, are we working with our government? Have we shared these concerns up the chain to ensure that we have folks advocating for the Virgin Islands on this funding?
So nationally we do, and I did, when I received this information, I did call our delegate to Congress, Chief of Staff.
Okay. And what was the feedback?
She said they're going to start tracking it.
Okay, very well. Senator Fonseca, you're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Yes. Pleasant good morning, and thank you so kindly, Madam Chair. We give warm greetings to the VI Public Broadcasting staff and the Executive Director, CEO, Tanya Marie Singh. We give thanks and praises to the Most High and blessings. Okay, 52 years in operation is it's a milestone achievement, commendable. You got some new programs. You got the WTJX app, which I have downloaded on my phone. You got the WTJX.org, the news feed. This is one of the organizations that are being managed real good. Couple questions on the Birth and Smalls audit, the status. What kind of opinions have you received, and up to what year have you audited?
Ms. Thomas.
We have an unqualified opinion, and we are audited up to fiscal year 2023.
We're going to have to take a recess. Oh, okay, because hold the senator's time. We were not seeing the senator on the screen. All right, proceed, Senator.
Yes, thank you, Manche. Okay, so you got an unqualified opinion. Ooh, Popa, that's excellent. You got clean audit. Congratulations. Okay, so the $795,000 grant for the transmitter facility with the solar, the batteries, UPS, how long would that stay up, and how many batteries do you have? How long would that stay up before it goes down, and do you have a generator also as a backup?
We do have a backup generator currently, and we just found out that we got the money or was awarded the grant. So we are working closely with the Energy Office to see how the build out would look. So those questions I don't have the answer to.
Okay, so, it's commendable that you also have a CD for $400,000. So what is the maturity date on that CD?
The CD matures every 6 months.
6 months. And where is it held?
First Bank VI.
Bank. Okay, that's commendable that you have reserves that you can secure for 6 months. Okay, good. So I wanted to ask you now about the $75,000 satellite uplink. Give me the details on that grant.
The 75, I'm missing that.
Yeah, on page 6 of 12, you says For fiscal year 24, WTJX received one grant in the amount of $75,000 from the VI government for a satellite uplink on St. Thomas production vehicle.
What page is that, Senator?
That is,
I think you have maybe last year testimony. What is it?
no, this is the post-audit report, page 6
on-
of 12.
Okay, sorry. Let me go to that.
While you're looking for that, I also wanted to, congratulate you. You said you got an unqualified opinion. That's great. And
1 minute.
Okay, Senator, yes, we got that money. We do have it. And initially, we selected a contractor. Things did not go well. We have rescinded that contract, and we are now on our way. We have identified a new contractor to satisfy that grant that we got from the legislature. We just actually
30 seconds.
got that done.
okay, so good. So your budget is $4,431,902. It remains at the same level. Is there anything outstanding? Is that a satisfactory funding level for the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System?
I would say so. We're just grateful we didn't get cut.
Okay, awesome. Madam Chair, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Senator Fonseca. We'll now hear from Senator Javon James, Sr.
Greetings to the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you, testifiers, for being here. Membership dues and subscription on page 4 of the post-audit report. I think that's on that page. Even if it's not on that page, page 5 of the post-audit report speaks to membership dues and subscription. I just would like to hear from you some of the strategies or some of the things you plan to implement to increase membership dues and subscription.
Senator, thanks for that question. That's one of the things that after this hearing, I would be meeting with our new marketing person and strategizing about.
Okay, and of course you don't want to put your strategy. That's what gives you an advantage. But I just want to make sure, because without saying much, I saw a little dip, and I want to make sure that we remain consistent, because WTJX is a platform that we definitely need in the Virgin Islands. And I want to say congratulations to the entire team, and it was a wise move to bring Tom Ada on board. I'm a good friend, Shanika Robertson, from the St. Educational Complex High School. As far as the lump sum payments, I saw in FY 2023 you had one, FY 2024 you had one as well. Not saying it's an issue, but there's no lump sum payments for FY 2025. If you could just explain to us the process and what transpired and the progress there.
Can you clarify, is that in the post-audit report? I'm not following you.
Yes, it's in the post-audit report. It's on page 4 of 12. It speaks to lump sum payments.
Oh, lump sum payments is something that we would not know. It's a payout to persons when they leave the organization. So it's like their vacation and whatever they would have accrued.
Understood, but you don't have any projected for FY 2025.
Not in not in the government budget. So it's our budget is 4.4 million, and we have put it to our operations.
Okay, so it was moved to a different category, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. And as far as electricity, I saw where for FY 2025 you have $0. So I'm assuming that you did something there. Just explain to us what you have done to deal with that electricity.
Our electricity is budgeted in our CPP grant, so it's not reflected in our VIG allotment.
1 minute.
So a lot of changes were made and you consolidated a lot of things, is what you're basically saying.
Yes.
Awesome. And as far as the federal grants, who's in charge of your federal grants at WTJX?
The business office.
A specific person who's...
No, it's, well, we have our disaster recovery specialist
30
who deals with
seconds.
FEMA information, and she's present here on the panel.
Awesome. And
CPB
then
grant is dealt
as
by the
far-
business office.
Okay, thanks for that. And then I see, as we speak about FEMA, I saw where you have capital outlays. FY 2023, you had something budgeted. FY 2024 shows the actuals at the time you presented this budget. And FY 2025, there is no allotment. So you don't need anything from the government of the Virgin Islands as far as capital.
No, we are focusing on our operations for this grant. For the allotments, for the government allotment, we'll just focus in on salaries and operations.
Thank you. My time was called. This is a straightforward budget. I have no doubts that WTGX will not do their job. I know you have highly qualified people. Continue to make us proud, and God bless the Virgin Islands.
Thank you, Senator James Sr. So let me ask, the budget amount, the amount is the same amount from fiscal year 24, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any other projected expenses that will come online in FY 25, i.e. salary increases?
We do.
Do you have anything else that will impact these numbers?
We do have salary increases for the union in the fall,
And
in
how
the
do you
next
plan-
fiscal year.
And how do you plan to accommodate those?
I will ask the business office.
It's accommodated in our fiscal year 2025 budget numbers.
So it's included in your numbers?
Yes, for the union employees only.
So you know, that makes me ask this question. Did you have salary increases in 24?
Yes,
Okay, so you do an annual
for union employees at this
for
point.
union employees. So do you have like savings in your allotments in your at the
We've
close
been-
of the fiscal years?
We've been using all of our allotment within recent years. So this 4.4 million will be used within fiscal year 2024.
And then you just married up with your funding that you receive, your federal dollars, your federal funding.
Yes, we pay specific things from different funds. Yes.
Okay. I also recalled CEO saying that a few years ago, probably 2 or a year and a half ago, you were very interested in building out some space in St. Croix for your team as they come over during hurricanes, major events, etc. What's the status of that?
I didn't mention it, but we because we don't have the money yet, but we were awarded money from ARPA, is it?
OIA,
From-
Office of Interior.
The interior
Yes,
for the upfitting of that?
Yes.
How much?
400,000.
Good. Very innovative.
Yes.
I'm very happy to hear that because it's something that's been on my mind because I know that we had toured it and it's really an excellent idea. So when did that award take place and when do you anticipate receiving the funding?
It took place in April of fiscal year 2024. It is a reimbursable grant, so we actually have to spend the money and be reimbursed. So currently we are getting quotes for an architect to build out the space at this point.
Okay. All right. And you anticipate that is going to be around $400,000 to take
We're
care of
hoping
that?
so.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't ever like to say that, you know, whatever we can do to assist, especially in these times, we can. But let us know how the project is going. Let us know how it's going. All right, Senator Francis Jr., you're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to the listening audience, and of course, good morning to Team WTJX, Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System.
Good morning.
Madam CEO, thank you for your testimony this morning and the good work that continue to be done by the WTJX and the Public Broadcasting System. Of course, I'm an avid supporter of Analyze This for obvious reasons. And I wanted to ask you if there is a boost that's required. I'm having some difficulties hearing the radio station in certain areas as I traverse the Virgin Islands. Is there a boost that's required to be able to make it a little bit stronger?
We need a FM translator, and there is a moratorium on FM translators with the FCC. They're not giving out any. And until such time, we've also explored the possibility of purchasing a radio station on St. Croix, but we've not been successful thus far. But we keep trying because I live on St. Croix and I want to hear our station on St. Croix, not just in some neighborhoods, but throughout the island.
Correct. Yes, that's definitely an observation that I've made, and I too don't want to miss a beat. In regards to the WAPA payment, we up to date. I heard. I think it was the business office that spoke to the fact that all of your vendors' payments are pretty much up to date. Is your WAPA payment one of those?
Marie White, Senior Financial Officer. Yes, Senator, we are up to date with WAPA.
If I may, Senator, I would add that there's a water issue that you may see from WAPA, that there's an outstanding amount for a water bill on St. Croix that we're currently disputing.
Okay. Are you pursuing any alternative or renewable energies to support your energy system there? Electricity?
We are at the location at Mountaintop. I have also asked the energy director, Kyle Fleming, to look into Richmond, our Richmond facility. The property behind the parking lot is WTJX's property. And with this influx of money the energy office is getting, I have asked him to do a solar farm back there for not just WTJX, but the Richmond community.
Excellent, excellent. I'd like to hear more about that. I didn't see anything in your FY25 for any capital projects. Are you intending to undertake any capital projects for FY25?
Repeat, Senator, I missed that.
I didn't see anything in your FY25 for capital projects. Do you intend to undertake any capital projects in FY25?
Just the build out we were just speaking about with Senator Fred Gregory about the back area of the building upstairs that's derelict, and we want to build that out.
Okay. And have you received any philanthropy donations or anything to WTJX?
No.
Nothing? Are you utilizing any of the key performance indicators? How are you able to evaluate your success or your challenges?
Senator, they reveal themselves to us every day. I don't know if we've sat down and evaluated them because we're just always trying to outfire us, but we do need to sit down and evaluate them. But one thing I know we need to do better is market what the excellent programming that we have.
Okay. Madam Chair, I heard my time call. I just have one follow-up question, if you allow it.
Sure.
Madam CEO, in regards to a wish list, is there anything that you see as a critical improvement that if you had an opportunity to ask for, you'd be asking for in this budget?
I would love to buy a radio station on St. Croix. That's my wish list.
And do you have a dollar value to that?
I offered, I don't. I offered a station $100,000 the other day and they laughed. So I don't know.
Very well. Maybe we could partner together and you and I could share that responsibility and buy a radio station. We'll have some further discussion on that. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for the time and opportunity. Thank you, Madam CEO, for your responses.
Thank you, Senator Francis Jr. The satellite uplink for St. Thomas. I know that we appropriated those dollars probably about 2 or 3 fiscal years ago.
Yes.
What's the status?
We're about to go ahead first in that. Give us a few months. I think by the time you see us here again, Senator, you would have already attended a ribbon cutting.
Okay, good. Your, what do you call it, hairpiece?
Hairpiece.
Hairpiece? What's going on with that?
I'll let Kia answer that. Ms. Thomas?
Kia Tinik Thomas, Disaster Recovery Specialist. So in April, we finalized our 100% designs, and we submitted that to DPNR for a federal consistency determination. On June 21st, we had our public hearing for that. During the hearing, there were no major findings or concerns from any of the stakeholders. So DPNR said within or around 30 days, so hopefully any day now, we'll receive a favorable federal consistency determination, at which point we can begin permitting and putting out bids for demolition.
Wow. How much years has it been? 7?
Yes.
And I know that you've been pushing on this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I thought you would have given me something like, yeah, we in design. Wow. I'm going to stay encouraged. I'm really looking forward to that space being upfitted and rebuilt and upfitted. It was a good space, and I know that under your leadership that you probably have a really nice expansion there. So I'm looking forward to that. I had another question, but it escaped me, so I'm going to go to the next senator. Senator DeGraff, you're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Test, 1, 2. Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, testifiers, all viewing, listening, and present. First of all, thank you for allowing my summer intern, Ms. Charlize Matthews, to be there. She's very, very happy to be there.
That's our employee.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. But I'm very happy to sponsor her and to work with you. She really enjoys it. I have a little weightlifting program I need you to come and produce. And
a weightlifting program? But we don't have a weightlifter right at the end.
That's what I say, because she'd win all the time, but I want to make sure the people of the territory in marketing and weightlifting, the great deeds that women are doing.
Okay, talk to me after.
She's stronger than everybody else.
The guys in the office let her lift boxes.
Oh God,
yeah?
No. A guy got to be a guy still. Don't let them do that. Don't let them get away. Okay, I'm looking at the post-auditor's report from last year, 24 and 25. And something that's interesting says 2023, your request was $4,419,002. Your recommendation, your governor's recommendation of $4 million for 23, $4,431,902. The 24 request is $4,431,902. Your 25 request is $4,431,902. How you give or how you deal with wage increases? You say you gave wage increase in 24. Your ask is the same from 23, the same in 24. The same now in 25. So how I'm trying to figure that out. Your personnel that you had with 7 vacancies in 24 was 2,000,006. Your ask in 25 with 5 vacancies is 2,000,003. So I'm missing something with the numbers. In are we able to cover the wage increases that you had and the wage increases that are coming in the 25 budget?
So I don't want to jump ahead of my CFO, but I'm going to say this. If we want to fill all of our vacancies, we do. If we do, then we're in a little bit of a pickle because we're able to do these things because we have vacancies. But once we're at full operations, which we are striving to do, then we may have an issue.
Okay, then you're in the right place because that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing that you need to straighten out because you will end up in a pickle.
Right.
And I don't want that to happen because, like I said, I'm an avid, great supporter of what you're doing. Now, I see you have...
1 minute.
And who is getting the raises? You say unionized employees?
Union.
You have any GS employees?
What's GS?
I guess if you don't know, then you probably don't have. Okay, so I just want to make sure, because the GS or non-union classified, so I just want to make sure. Okay. Now I see there's a post-audit report, page 9, there's outstanding obligations that come to a total of
30 seconds.
45,328.10. Now you said your outstanding obligations, there are none?
As of June 30th, our outstanding obligations were $14,368.67, and we pay within a 30-day time period.
Okay, because I also noticed in the 24 budget, same listing of outstanding obligations. Is it when you receive your appropriation and when you pay that causes it to show up, if I may wrap up, Madam Chair, that causes it to show up in the post-auditor's report? Because it makes it seem as if it's outstanding from 1 year to a next to a next.
No, at the time we make our submission that at the end of March, that is what was outstanding at the end of March, and right now it's down to 14,000. So we report what is open in our accounts payable at the time of submission. We don't have anything from prior fiscal years.
Okay, because WAPA alone was 16,824 that was paid.
Yes, we are completely paid up with WAPA except for one water bill on St. Croix that is in dispute.
And just in closing, there is on the post-audit report, page 9, there's a term net 30-day paying as agreed. What does that mean?
Most of our vendors give us a 30-day window to pay, so we pay within that 30-day time frame.
That's the answer. Okay. Thank you for the time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator DeGraff. So basically, your appropriations cover all categories within your operations.
Correct.
And you have $756,000 under other services. What does that entail?
Can you let me know the page you're referring to?
Page 4 of the post-audit report is basically gives the breakdown of your FY25 projections. It gives the different categories: personnel, associated fringe benefits, supplies. We know that you receive a lump sum budget, but we still want to know what's in these categories. So
that breakdown should be in the table immediately following Exhibit 4 on the same page.
So
there's a breakout there, other services and charges. You have professional services, 200,000, communication, 130, and so on and so on.
So let's talk about insurance. So you are a semi-autonomous entity, correct?
Yes.
And during the hurricanes of 2017, you're getting your assistance from FEMA to do your rebuild.
Yes.
I see that you don't have any insurance.
We do have insurance. It's just not budgeted in fiscal year 2025 appropriations. We paid from our CPB grant.
Okay.
Our insurance is paid from that grant.
So you have insurance that's paid from the federal funds?
Yes.
Okay. And your rental of land and building, I thought that those were being covered, particularly in this district, by FEMA. Or is that
It is.
still being covered? But on St. Croix, so tell me the reason for your $41,000 expense for rental.
For rental, we have 41,000 because we're renting. We have tower rent in St. Croix.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also have, and we have 2 small storage units on
Okay.
St. Thomas.
Okay.
The storage units are covered by FEMA.
Okay, so basically the 41,000. You have a contract with your a lease rather, with your current with the antenna
Yes.
providers. I see. Okay. What about your vehicles? All your vehicles are in good condition.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I am trying to make sure we cover all of this before I close with y'all. And you receive FCC grant funding?
Not in fiscal year 24 and 25. Our last payout was in fiscal year 2023. Our towers have been completed and is now
Okay.
online.
So it was for the purpose of...
It was specifically for the new towers.
And then you get the CBP funding.
Yes, that's an annual payout.
Okay. All right, colleagues, I don't have any other questions for the WTJX. I don't know if anyone has a burning question. Any burning questions? Don't look that way. Good. So, CEO Singh, we're going to ask you to give a 30-second close. We don't have any through the chair requests. So 30 seconds will allow you to close.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you, everyone. I will like to close by encouraging the public to become members of the station. Just go on our website, wtjx.org, and I would like to encourage everyone. I'm specifically re-airing Champion this Sunday at 3 p.m. I wanted to use this platform to push that program. Watch the opera about Emile Griffith. Most operas are tragedies anyway, and it really educated me about Emile Griffith. I cried. It's a brilliant program. Please watch it.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I didn't ask you, have you received your allotment up to the third quarter?
Our last allotment, the last allotment we received was in June.
And that was for what quarter or what period?
We receive it monthly.
Also June?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, colleagues. We have exhausted our conversation with WTJX, and we are now looking forward to hearing from the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission. We are a little early, so we're going to resume at 11 o'clock. The committee stands in recess until 11. The committee is back on the record. Madam Clerk, can you please read Block 2 into the record? Recognize the mic, please. Try it again.
VI Casino Control Commission, invited testifier, Mr. Marvin Pickering, Chairman, VI Casino Control Commission. This concludes the reading of today's agenda, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and good afternoon to the testifiers. Oh, we're still morning. We're ahead of ourselves today, right? So good morning to the members of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission. And good morning again to all listening and viewing today's proceedings. This morning we're going to hear, we concluded our discussion, our budget discussion with the WTJX family. I will now hear from the Casino Control Commission. I'm going to ask Mr. Pickering, the chairman of the Virgin Islands Casino Commission, to please put his name and title on the record. I see that he has two other commission members accompanying him, and will also ask them to put their names and titles on the record. Mr. Pickering, you may proceed.
Good morning, Marvin Pickering, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission.
Morning. My name is Carolyn P. Herman Purcell, Commissioner from the District of St. Thomas and St. John, and the Vice Chairman of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Luther F. Renee, Commissioner, Secretary Treasurer of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission.
All right, thank you for putting your names on the record. And I have to say to Attorney Herman Purcell, you could have come to St. Thomas and stay with me.
I could have, but
that's okay. All right, so we're going to ask who speaks for the Casino Commission this morning.
I do.
You may proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. Good morning, Honorable Senator Donna Fred Gregory, Chairperson of the Committee on Budget, Appropriations, and Finance, all honorable members of the committee, other honorable members of the 35th Legislature, legislative staff, and those listening and viewing via radio, television, and the internet. For the record, my name is Marvin L. Pickering, and I am the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission, the Commission. Accompanying me today is Commissioner Carolyn P. Herman Purcell, Vice Chair, Commissioner Luther F. Renee, Secretary Treasurer, and our Executive Director, Linda I. Smith. We thank you for the opportunity to present and discuss the fiscal year 2025 budget request for the Commission. The Commission is responsible for the regulation of casinos pursuant to the Virgin Islands Casino and Resort Control Act of 1995 as amended. Internet gaming and gambling pursuant to the Virgin Islands Internet Gaming and Gambling Act as amended. Casinos pursuant to the Virgin Islands Horse Racing Industry Assistance Acts of 2011 and 2016, and Casino 4 Establishments Act permitted within the enterprise zones of Christiansted and Frederiksted, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. These statutes and all relevant amendments establish the basis for the governance and operations of the Commission and its staff. Finances. The Commission has 4 funding sources. The General Fund for salaries of the Commissioners and staff only. The Casino Control Revolving Fund pursuant to 32 VI Code Section 514. This account is funded by casino license fees, casino employee license fees, fines, and other fees imposed by law or through regulation by the Commission. 3. The Casino Revenue Fund pursuant to 32 VI Code 517. which is funded by the 12% tax on gross revenues from the 2 casinos and casino hotels currently operating in the casino zone, namely DV Carina Bay Casino and Resort and VIGL-CRG, commonly referred to as Caravel Hotel and Casino. The Commission receives 25% of these taxes, with 75% allocated to other government departments or agencies, including 1% to the Commission for programs to treat and prevent gambling addiction. And 4, the Horse Racetrack Casino Revenue Fund, pursuant to 32 VI Code Section 901. The Commission has not received funding from this source since 2016, when Traxco ceased operations at the Randall Doc James Racetrack. However, on April 18, 2024, the Commission granted an initial 1-year license to VIGL Operations LLC to operate a casino at the Randall Doc James Racetrack. Once this casino commences operations, the Commission will begin to receive monies from the Horse Racetrack Casino Revenue Fund. As it relates to the general fund for the Commission's personnel, the total sum we are requesting is $1,604,300, including fringe costs, which represents 17 employees, including 4 vacancies. The vacant positions are an in-house legal counsel and 3 casino inspectors. The table below lists the names, proposed budgeted salaries, and other related information for the employees of the Commission. The Casino Control Revolving Fund is a special checking account that serves as a depository of monies collected from all license, registration, and permit fees, fines, penalties, and other fees, all sums appropriated thereto by the legislature of the Virgin Islands, and all donations, gifts, and bequests. In this fiscal year 2024, from October 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024, the Commission collected $473,838, of which 80%, or $379,070, was allocated to the Commission, and 20%, or $94,768, was allocated to the Department of Justice, Division of Gaming Enforcement's operating account for their operating expenses relative to gaming enforcement. The mandated signatories on this account are the Commissioners and the Attorney General of the Virgin Islands. Regarding the Casino Revenue Fund, the Commission is currently allocated 25% of the gross casino revenue taxes levied on casinos at the rate of 12%. In fiscal year 2023, the amount appropriated to the Commission from the Department of Finance was $567,402 as compared to $265,680 for fiscal year 2022. This increase is primarily attributed to the change in April 2022 in the allocation rate from 10% to 25% pursuant to Act 8577. For the current fiscal year 2024 through May, the amount allocated to the Commission was $283,021 versus $238,817 when compared to the same period last fiscal year, an increase of 19%. The second quarter report below from the Department of Finance for fiscal year 24 shows the percentages and amounts distributed. The funds were distributed to Department of Health, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Internal Revenue, University of the Virgin Islands, VI Alliance for Responsible Gaming, Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation, Casino Control Commission, and the Police Department. The distribution reports for fiscal years 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and through the second quarter of fiscal year 2024 can be found on the Commission's website. Thus far in this fiscal year, The Commission has not received any federal funds. However, overall, the Commission received approval for a project worksheet in the total amount of $123,326.72 for damages related to Hurricane Maria. Of that amount, the Commission has received $87,412 thus far. In our fiscal year 2024 budget testimony last year, we indicated that approval was pending from Vitema regarding a mold remediation project in the amount of $50,000. That approval was granted and the project was completed and paid for by the Commission. We are now awaiting reimbursement from FEMA/Vitema based on the current cost share ratio. A financial overview of the Commission by bank accounts for the period October 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024 is inserted here for your review. Administrative actions. On May 31st, 2024, Mr. Henry Shang, the Commission's Special Assistant for Licensing and Compliance, retired from the agency. Mr. Shang was one of the original employees of the Commission. He began his tenure as a casino inspector supervisor and held that position for 20 years. After a brief absence to serve in another role, he returned to the Commission for another 3 years as the Licensing and Compliance Special Assistant. The Commission thanks Mr. Shang for his service and wishes him well in his retirement. Ms. Marva Austri joined the Commission on June 17, 2024 to succeed Mr. Shang. Her title is Licensing and Compliance Officer. When the Commission last appeared for our budget testimony, we did not have an executive director, a position that is mandated by 32 VI Code Section 408C. After an extensive search where we received 11 applications as far-flung as the United Kingdom, the Commission selected Ms. Linda Smith to serve as Executive Director. The Commission currently has 2 vacancies from its 15 budgeted positions, a legal counsel and a casino inspector too. Vacancy notices have been published for these positions. In anticipation of the completion and operation of the proposed casino at the Randall Doc James Racetrack, the Commission is requesting 2 additional positions for Casino Inspectors 1, with base salaries of $42,000 and fringe costs of $28,330 each, for a total of $140,660. On January 31st, 2024, the Commission issued its 4th annual report to the Governor and the Legislature of the Virgin Islands. The report was issued in accordance with the provisions of 32 VI Code Section 424 and can also be found on the Commission's website. In addition, on the same date, in accordance with the mandates of 32 VI Code Section 514E, the Commission submitted the 2nd annual report for the Casino Revolving Fund to the Legislature and the Commissioner of Finance. As was stated in the Commission's budget testimony last year, with the submission of quarterly reports and annual reports to the Commissioner of Finance and the Legislature, it removes a Yellow Book audit finding that was cited as a significant deficiency in internal controls as it related to the Department of Finance. The Commissioners and staff are very pleased with this continuing accomplishment. One other accomplishment that I am personally proud of, and I believe my colleagues are as well, is the completion of the Commission's first ever financial audit. The Commission received an unmodified opinion of its financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2021. In the audit report prepared by Bert Smith and the company. I wish to thank all the members of the staff for their contribution to this historical achievement. The audit for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022 has just begun and should be completed before the end of this calendar year. As was mentioned previously, the Casino Revolving Fund is a special checking account wherein all license, registration, and permit fees, fines, penalties, and other fees are deposited. The funds are split 80% to the Casino Control Commission and 20% to the Division of Gaming Enforcement for the operating expenses of both entities. The signatories to this account are the members of the Commission and the Attorney General of the Virgin Islands. The Commission provides monthly financial reports to the Attorney General and the Director of Gaming Enforcement, detailing the revenues and expenditures related to the revolving fund. All Commission employees, including the Commissioners, received ethics training last fiscal year. The training was conducted on September 6, 2023. It is imperative that the Commission's Code of Ethics is adhered to by all Commission members and employees without exception. Further, the Commission conducted responsible gaming training, again for all Commission members and staff. This training was well received by the staff, and prizes were awarded to the first 3 employees completing the online training. The Commission is committed to providing its employees with opportunities for training and development. To that end, the Commission paid all expenses that resulted in several employees successfully completing courses offered through UVI Cell in QuickBooks Pro Business Management, Fundamentals of Supervision and Management, and Introduction to Coding. In addition, the Commission's casino inspectors received training in table games and anti-money laundering earlier this fiscal year. The Commission continues to review and monitor the licensure process for employees of the casinos and casino hotels, gaming-related and non-gaming-related entities doing business with the casinos. The Division of Gaming Enforcement, DGE, conducts the background investigations on the applications for all persons and entities seeking licensure. As we have emphatically stated for many years, the DGE lacks the resources to adequately and timely submit the investigative reports relative to these applications to the Commission. The Commission's records indicate that currently there are more than 240 applications at DGE awaiting investigative reports. These include a variety of types of applications and registrations such as gaming and non-gaming related entities, casino hotel employees, casino key employees, and casino service employees. Moreover, our cursory review finds that it can take the DGE almost 2 years to return an investigative report to the Commission. This affects the Commission's ability to ensure that persons or entities with unacceptable backgrounds and records of behavior are prohibited entry into the Virgin Islands casino industry. Although DGE is a division of the Department of Justice and not a part of the Commission's budget, the Commission would like to strongly advocate for sufficient staffing for the DGE and hopes that this body would look favorably on requests from the Justice Department to provide these resources to the DGE. During fiscal year 2024, one casino patron was 86D, which in the industry refers to persons ejected or banned for improper conduct by a casino. The Commission processed 3 patron complaints and 6 petitions for voluntary self-exclusion. The Commission has secured the services of an independent hearing officer, IHO, who will preside over matters such as these when warranted and make recommendations to the Commission for final disposition. Additionally, the Commission received 5 complaints filed by DGE for licensure revocation. The Commission has no outstanding past due invoices, and our only outstanding payments are for current goods and services procured over the immediately preceding month. The Commission is located at number 3005 Estate Grove, Christiansted, St. Croix. The building is leased from the Government Employees Retirement System, GERS, and consists of approximately 4,667 square feet of gross leasable area. The Commission remains current with our rental obligations to the GERS. The Commission and the GERS executed a renewal of our lease agreement effective for the period October 5th, 2023 through October 4th, 2028, a term of 5 years. The lease agreement provides for increases from $84,006 to $94,087 in the first year, $99,732 in the second year, and $102,674 for the third through the fifth years of the lease. The Commission issued licenses and statements of compliance that included both new and renewal for all license categories to include casinos, casino employees, casino key employees, gaming-related entities, and non-gaming related entities. The table below shows a comparison of licenses issued by the Commission for fiscal year 2023 and thus far for the current fiscal year. Please note that a total of 577 licenses in all categories were issued in fiscal year 2023. Through May of the current fiscal year, a total of 505 licenses were issued, which will definitely surpass fiscal year 2023 numbers on an annualized basis. Additionally, through May of this fiscal year, the Commission issued 69 exemptions from licensure and 65 waivers from registration/licensure. As expressed last year at our budget hearing, the Commission reported that a review of the provisions of the Internet Gaming and Gambling Laws of the Virgin Islands, 32 VI Code, Chapter 21, Article 14, was underway. This law has been on the books for more than 20 years and has never been fully implemented despite previous attempts to do so. The review was completed and the recommended amendments were submitted to the Commission and evaluated by the Commission's then legal counsel and approved. The Commission has issued an RFQ to conduct a thorough market impact analysis to determine the amount of projected revenues, among other things, to be realized from the implementation of Internet gambling in the Virgin Islands. One response was received and is currently under evaluation. Goals for 2025. Continuous review of the existing laws, regulations, and policies that govern the affairs of the Commission and propose amendments or make changes where necessary. Seek meeting with the Governor and the Legislature to gain support of the amendments needed to the Internet Gaming and Gambling Statutes and Rules and Regulations. Continue development of internal policies and procedures for efficient and effective operations and management of the Commission, including the full implementation of a formal accounting policy. Execute an MOU with the Department of Health to provide training and certification of gambling addiction counselors, which will enable the Commission to provide resources locally to patrons with gambling addiction through the Alliance on Responsible Gaming Fund. Develop and implement a territory-wide problem gambling and responsible gaming awareness campaign, utilizing means and methods such as specialized web pages, social media, electronic billboards, and mobile advertising. Provide technical training and other educational opportunities for the Commission staff while implementing activities designed to maintain and improve the positive workplace environment of the Commission. Continue to foster and enhance the working relationship between the Commission and DGE to ensure that regulatory compliance is maintained throughout the local gaming industry. Continue to advocate for enhanced funding for staffing of the DGE to ensure that it can timely perform its investigatory and prosecutorial roles with the Commission. Continue to encourage casino entities and other stakeholders to undertake the obligations of the gambling and gaming industry in promoting responsible gambling while working to prevent problem gambling. Before closing, I wish to take this opportunity to express my thanks and gratitude to my colleagues on the Commission and the entire staff, including our inspectors who are usually off-site at the casinos, for their hard work and support of our efforts to restore integrity and trust to the Commission. These efforts must continue as we strive to regain the public's trust and instill confidence that this commission will operate above reproach and in a transparent manner at all times. Madam Chair, this concludes the testimony of the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission relative to its fiscal year 2025 budget. The representatives of the Commission stand ready to respond to all the questions you and the members of this body may have to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Colleagues, we're going to go to a 4-minute round. Before we begin, let me just ask you, Mr. Pickering, you are aware that the recommendation submitted by in the 2025 budget submission to the legislature is $1,423,800. Are you aware?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, so that is a difference of 180,500 above what you submitted or below what you submitted. So let me ask you, what does that additional 181,500 represent?
As I mentioned in my testimony, 140,000 plus is for the 2 new casino 1 inspectors, and it includes base salaries of 42,000 each and some 28,000 plus in fringe. That amounts to the 140,000. The other 40,000 is for proposed salary adjustments for some staff members.
So it's for proposed salary adjustments and 2 new positions.
That is correct.
Okay, got it. Okay, I know that you read it in your testimony, but I wanted to make sure that it's clearly placed on the record. All right, colleagues, we're going to go to a 4-minute round like I stated, and we're going to start with Senator Marvin Blyden. You may proceed, Senator Blyden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioner Pickering, and thank you so much for your testimony. Let me ask you on page 7 of your testimony, 7 of 9, you have a chart and you have accounts, the youth programs account. There have been no disbursement to date. What the account used for and why there have not been any disbursement to date? When it comes to that account.
Can you repeat the question, please, Senator?
Page 7 of 9, the disbursements for youth programs account. There have been no disbursement to date. Is there a reason for that, and what is that program used for?
And you are referring to page 7 of my testimony. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, page 7 of our post-audit report. I apologize.
Oh, okay. If you were to turn to page 7 of my testimony,
yeah,
you would note that the current balance is now 0. We began the year with $385,441. The account earned $416 for a total of $385,957, and that was disbursed. And these funds were disbursed to the Department of Labor to support the JAG VI program, and that was earlier this year. So currently, there are no more funds in that account.
Very well, good to know. Let me ask you, in respect to your testimony, you mentioned training many times, which is very important. I know you have ethic training, you have technical training, etc. Your training budget for 25, have there been an increase in the budget for 25 for training?
Just a second.
Because
I believe that there was, but
I don't see any. I see training expenses, but you really don't have a comparison in terms of how much you have budgeted for your 25 budget. If not, you can always, through the chair, send a copy of what that amount is. I'll appreciate it, okay?
Yeah, we have 25,000 budgeted for fiscal year 2025.
For training, how much do you have?
25,000. That's for the training. That doesn't include travel. Travel is a separate line item, but training is for the training fees.
Training fees? So it's all inclusive, you stated? So it's not broken down?
There's a line item. Well, let's get to
1 minute.
Let's get to the point where we're on the same page.
Okay.
You are referring to the post audit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's a line
Page
item.
4.
Yeah, there's a line item. It was 10,000 last year, last fiscal year, and it's now 25,000 that we have budgeted for training.
Okay, very well. And before my time is up, let's go to licenses. And you note in your testimony
30 seconds.
you're going to have an increase in a number of licenses for fiscal year 24. What's behind that? What's the reason for that?
Well, one of the our current licensees, there's a lot of turnover, and it's projected that this year that there'll be some higher seasonal turnover than in the past.
Time.
But there's a problem keeping employees at one of their licensees.
Okay, and 86D within the industry, what would cause someone to be banned? Give an example to me, please, for improper conduct
it could be
by a casino.
some kind of obnoxious behavior, getting in fights at the casinos with other patrons. Cheating is another incident that can cause one to be banned.
Okay, very well, and that's why it's critical that you have a full gamut of investigators on staff. Your vacancy, including, Madam Chair, if I can, your vacancy, how many vacancies do you have, and does any of those vacancies include investigators?
No, the investigation is left to the Division of Game and Enforcement, and which we're advocating for more staffing for that entity. But we have casino inspectors, and we reported vacancies. We have 3 vacancies for casino inspectors.
And they're funded in the budget. And are they new?
Yes.
And are they new positions? Are they new positions?
The two casino one inspectors will be new in anticipation of the startup of the casino at Randall Dock James Racetrack.
Okay, thank you so much for your responses, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for the time.
All right, thank you, Senator Bladin. Let me ask you, so on our pro salary report, page 4, the expenses are up until February 29, 2024. Did you submit an updated expense report to the Post Salary Division?
No, Senator, but we can.
Yeah, we're going to need to get an updated expense report, so we're going to ask for that report to be up to date to June 30th of 2024 at minimum. Okay.
Yeah, we currently have it. We currently have it through May. June is not completed as yet.
And when do you anticipate May will be completed? I mean,
No,
June.
May is already.
June. I'm sorry.
We can send you that today.
No. When do you anticipate June will be completed?
Within the next week or so.
Okay, good. We can wait the week. Okay. So you can send back to the committee the updated reporting, because usually by the time we have these meetings, the information is more up to date. So I don't know if we requested it, but the information is a bit outdated for us at this time. Senator, next, Fonseca. Okay, Senator Fonseca is not there. Senator Novell E. Francis Jr., you're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good afternoon to Team VICC.
Still morning.
Still morning, huh? Like we've been here all day. So I want to thank you for your testimony and thank you for the team spirit. I think that every time I come into your company, you are always there with your team, all of the commission members. So that's commendable that you're not a one-man show.
Try not to be.
Correct. I also want to recognize and thank you for the completion of the first ever financial audit, and that's expected from you. Again, finances is your background, and I'm sure that was one of the conditions of you taking over the Casino Commission. Do you currently have any casino application in process? Is there any?
No, sir. We do not.
Nothing on the horizon? No.
There's been some talk, but there's nothing officially before us.
No online gaming or nothing in consideration or anything like that?
As I mentioned, we are working on updating those internet gaming, which would include online, because the laws are so outdated. The whole environment has changed, since 2001, when this law was put on the books.
In your testimony, you made reference to actually on the question, you made reference to the rapid turnover of employees by one of your licensees. Are you doing a deep dive to make a determination whether or not there's any, to glean from that, whether or not there's any circumstances that should be considered in terms of compliance or, anything that may require for the VICC to get involved in that rapid turnover?
As a matter of fact, that same licensee has written to us to determine if there was any way that we could relax, some of the rules and regulations regarding the hiring process for the casinos. It is extensive. We admit, depending on the level of the employment, a casino key employee, they have to go through an extensive background check. Some people might be a little hesitant to go through that process, but and then again too, it's seasonal in particularly in this entity, this casino licensee. So yes, there is some rapid turnover.
So are you seeing any possibility where there may be some adjustment, modification made, again, maintaining the integrity of the requirements to allow for these employees to continue to exist and you don't continue to see those rapid turnovers?
Yeah, it is.
1 minute.
We have consideration to address in the very near future.
Very well, thank you. Is there any particular litigation or judgment against the VICC at this time?
Yeah, we have 2 matters, I believe, in the Superior Court right now, and they're proceeding as normal as can be.
Okay, no final judgments or anything
No.
that has been levied against you.
No, not.
What? And I know that you spoke about there is some requests for salary adjustments. I noticed
30
that
seconds.
the inspectors seems to be kind of steady for quite some time. Is any of those adjustment for the inspectors?
Well, as a matter of fact, Senator, the commission adjusted the salaries of the inspectors. Was that last fiscal year? Last fiscal year.
They were adjusted last
Yes,
fiscal
they were
year.
adjusted last fiscal year. But I was more in the area. We have right now a position for in-house legal counsel. The maximum salary is $100,000. Not getting a whole lot of bites. At that level. So we're looking to see if we could have some flexibility there.
Very well. Madam Chair, I heard my time call. I have 2 more, if you'll allow it.
Of course, Senator.
Thank you. You spoke about the JAG program with Department of Labor, and I think the $385,000 that was given, that was the final payment that's going to JAG, correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
So there is a requirement to allow for, they'll need some legislative adjustment in order for that to continue, because that is impactful. I think I've heard from Department of Labor several times that in fact this impacts their JAG program. That will require some legislation.
Yes, the legislation took it away, so the legislation will have to restore it.
Reconsider that.
Yes.
Restore it. Okay,
Yes.
very well. We'll certainly consider that. And in regards to technology, what does this technology look like for you over at the VICCC?
Oh, it's greatly improved. Thanks to this body, we came before you a couple of years ago and requested funding for 2 positions at the time. The one was the in-house legal counsel, and the other one was IT support specialist.
So I think what I was trying to get out to you is the thank you. I didn't hear any thank you to the legislation for giving you money to improve your technology. So.
But you didn't let me finish. I did that last year, and I'm doing it again today. Thank you so much, and I hope that there's full consideration given to what I'm asking for this year as well.
Thank you very much. A lot of times we have these agencies come before us and nobody wants to say thank you at the end of it because, we comply, we give you the money, and then everybody forget about the legislation.
I always say thank you, Senator. You know that.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the time and opportunity.
Thank you, Senator Francis Jr. So just remind me, because this is the second time I've heard about this reduction to the DOL youth, one of the youth programs. Can you please tell us specifically when that happened? Just to refresh me, perhaps my colleagues, they know, but I do not remember. Exactly when and what specific act, if you have that information, or
yes,
that created what we have in front of us right now.
It was Act 8577.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was passed in April of 2022. And there were certain adjustments made to the allocation from the Casino Revenue Fund. That program used to get a 10% allocation, and that allocation was removed with Act 8577.
Okay, so I'll look into that. All right. Thank you. Senator DeGraff?
You're welcome.
You're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, testifiers, all viewing, listening, and present. I want to address personnel services. Chairman Pickering. Good day. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. And you?
Excellent. Can't complain. On the post-auditor's report, page 3 of 9, personnel unclassified salaries, general fund, total projection 25, 1,116,900. You see it?
Yes, sir.
And then on page 8, when you list your entire 15 persons, the salaries come to a total of 1,011,130. I know you said legal counsel was 100,000, but the post-audit report here has it at 90.
Yes, when we submitted the required budget information, these are the current salaries.
Right. So for
These are the
25.
salaries that we're projecting, and we are projecting the 1.1 million that you spoke of earlier. These are the current salaries.
Right. Oh, okay. So then, no one really received any wage increases or anything at all.
That's not correct.
Prior to, you're projecting for them to get wage increases in 25.
Yes, but the commission granted salary increases in the last fiscal year as well.
Right, and your ax is 2,400,800.
That is incorrect, sir.
Okay, so your ax is 1,423,800.
Our ask is $1,604,300.
Okay, 604, 300. Okay, because the 24 acts was 1,423,800.
Actually, the 24 ask was $1,477,300. The governor recommended $1,423,800.
Okay, I
And that
guess
was-
I guess
was
because
approved
we
by the
don't have those numbers is what was throwing me off. So I see the increase from 1,477,000 to 1,006,000. That's the increase, and then so the difference in your acts from the governor's recommendation is how much?
About $180,000.
Okay, and that's from the casino revenue fund?
No, that's from the general fund.
The general fund. Okay.
Yes.
What? Let me see. You have a highlight on page 6. The casino revenue fund is used to defray any costs incurred for supplies, utilities, and other charges. How much money from the casino revenue fund are you using for that
1 minute.
in the 25 budget?
I'm not sure that I understand your question.
Okay, and the post-auditor's report, page 6 of 9.
Yes.
Under the casino revenue fund, the graph, exhibit 3, there's a highlighted. The casino,
yes,
the casino revenue fund is used to defray any costs incurred for supplies, utilities, and other charges. How much money are we talking about for that, from that fund?
Looking at in the neighborhood of $800,000. If you take the difference between the 2.4 for our total budget,
30 seconds.
You subtract the 1.6 for salaries, that's our operating expenses. So it's roughly $800,000.
Okay, and then one more time, give me your acts, 1,006,000.
604,300.
Okay, good. And all you have now for the, because in the 24 budget, your legal counsel, your acts was, your salary was 100,000. Now in the 25, it shows 90. So that particular, which is it? Because from the 24, you're asking for 100. Now the post-audit report is showing 90.
As I just stated earlier, that 90,000 was the current salaries. We are projecting for 25 100,000 for that particular position.
Oh, okay. No, because I saw it in the 24 post-audit report too. That's what I was asking if it was a typo. Okay, and then so then your current allotment expenditure, if you have it for personnel and fringe, is what? Do you have those numbers currently? Your 24 fourth quarter. What's the latest you have? May, you said. What are those numbers for personnel and fringe? One more time, please.
You mean the
current
the
expenditure
actual?
for the 24, the actuals, correct?
The actual for I don't have a total. And if somebody could total that for me, we have
Okay, then I think that was one of the requests to the chair anyhow, in getting the actuals for updated. So, yeah, that would be fine. Okay, you'd be able to give it to the chair. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator DeGraff. So I'm over here smiling because I know what Act 8577 is now. Yeah. Right? So Act 8577 caused, as per Section 2, B5, cause us to increase your amount to 25%, correct?
That is correct.
And previously you received 12%.
10.
Right?
10.
Okay, 10. 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are now getting an additional percentage, right? So again, additional 15%. And it reduced, how much was the Department of Labor program getting previously?
10.
10. So I guess we allocated all over the place. And in this legislation, it wiped out the Department of Labor. Correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So now we are hearing from Labor that they're having challenges with that
And
program.
we like the 25%.
Go ahead, say that again. Sorry.
That we like the 25%.
Yes, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. So you like the 25%. So if we give you you represented that the 25% meant an additional, I think it's 283,000. 283,021 thus far. That's what I read in your testimony.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Some.
Okay. So that's 283 as opposed to, I forgot what number you said in the previous years. So then, if we gave you an additional percentage, my question for you is, the number that we're giving you on the general fund proper, should that number decrease as well?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Okay, let me say it again. So, me pull up this. Give me a second. So, in fiscal year 2024, your total budget was 1.4, right? That's what the number is, 1.4. In 25, you're asking for the same 1.4. However, I mean, I don't have the previous years in front of me, but I have to get the previous years. But I'm saying, since there's an increase of an additional 15%, then it means that we really need to take a deeper dive at your budget, because now you have an additional 15% that we don't necessarily have to give you all of what you're asking for in your FY25 budget, because we increased the percentage. All it may be small, it really matters to us trying to balance our budget. So that we've increased your percentage that you're getting. Where's that funding coming from? So we could all be clear. Where is the increase?
I'm not sure which.
The percentage that we talking about, where the money coming from?
The casino revenue fund.
Right, so good. It's coming from the casino revenue fund. So I'm saying we've increased the amount that you now have direct access to, which is no longer 10%, but now 25%, which is a 15% increase. So I'm saying we're trying to do the dance. So the dance is the ask that you have in your 24 and 25 budget. So we're now on 25. That amount should be lower, because now you've seen an increase in your percentages that you're receiving from the casino revenue fund.
The law as it is, no, what is that? This is confusing me. As the law is now written, the general fund supports the salaries and fringe costs of the commission, which include the commissioners and staff. The casino revenue fund is used for our operating expenses.
Okay. So have you seen an
Excluding
increase?
salary.
Have you seen an increase in your operating expenses? So what we're going to need to get from you is clearly what your operating expenses are, so we can determine whether or not we need to make any adjustments to this. Because what we've done, and I guess is in the haste in moving this forward, or all of the activity that was going on around this, we have reduced our allotment, or the allotment to our children. And I don't know how that sits with my colleagues, but it don't sit very well with me. So we have to figure out how to do the dance on this one. Because this is the second time I heard it when the Department of Labor came before us for their budget hearing. They talked about it. And I actually received a call from DOL saying that they were unable to hire as many students this year because of the monies, some of the funds going away. And it's something that I was supposed to look into, but I didn't at the time. And now it's coming, it has come back full circle. So just help me to understand. We just need to get a clear breakdown of your expenses so we could make a determination as to, how best we could work with this. I mean, I'm not suggesting in any way that we reduce your numbers because we know that costs are going up. So I ain't suggesting that, Mr. Pickering. I'm just trying to figure out how we can figure this out so everybody benefits at the end of the day. Senator Francis Jr., you recognize for your point of information.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What I will suggest, and we could do, definitely take a closer look at this, is that we shave from each of all of those other categories so that we can make sure that, the 10% is then restored to the Department of Labor. I think there's some opportunity there. There's 25, 25, 15, 10, 10, another 10, 3% to the University of the Virgin Islands, and 1%, of course, to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. I think if there could be some shaving, I believe that we could come up with that very same 10% and allow for, everyone to benefit from this in the long run.
Excellent suggestion. Excellent suggestion. So what we'll do is go back and look at what the percentage were before and then align them, and then we could make a final decision. I have to agree with you on that, Mr. President. Okay. So, Mr. Pickering.
Yes, Senator?
We're going to do what we have to do to make sure that you're properly funded. But we also have to make sure that we look out for the programs that we have for our youths in the territory. Okay? I think all of us would agree
I appreciate
to that.
it. If I may make a point, because I may have not understood you correctly, but the commission is requesting 1.604,300. The governor is recommended 1,423,800, which is the same that as for the past 3 fiscal years.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I pointed out in the beginning.
Okay.
And you actually gave us, you actually broke down for us why you needed that additional 180. You spoke specifically to 2 investigators, and I think there was $40,000 for, I don't know, I have a note here, but I ain't reading my own handwriting. What was that, 44?
Salary adjustment.
Okay, it says proposed salary adjustments. Okay. And just let me ask you, so your salary, how often do you adjust your salaries?
Well, there's no regular schedule. We're hoping that ideally it should be based on the annual cost of living, but in real life it doesn't work that way. But I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head when was before the last increases. When was the prior increase?
Okay, so when was the last?
We did adjust salary.
When was the last salary increases? When was the last salary increases?
Last fiscal year, right? Early last fiscal. I believe it was January of 23. Yes.
So fiscal year 2023 was your last salary increases. Okay.
That is correct.
All right. Okay, so we'll look at it. We'll have a conversation with you so we can figure out how to make that reality for your employees as well. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Colleagues, I don't have any other questions. Senator James is here. Oh, Senator James, you're recognized for your 4 minutes.
Greetings to the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you, testifiers, for being here. If any question was asked before, my apologies, I stepped out.
Okay.
Page 4 of the post-audit report speaks to subscriptions. I just want you to elaborate some more what those subscriptions are about.
We have primarily it is for our QuickBooks accounting system. I think that's the bulk of it, and we have other. That's the bulk of it.
And then I see a next one for membership. Elaborate.
Yeah, the commission has membership in several organizations, industry organizations, American Gaming Association. We have National North American Gaming Regulators Association. We have IGML. Several organizations we have membership in.
Understood. And then I see here for the job training programs, you are basically subsidizing 50% of the budgetary needs of the Jobs for Virgin Islands Graduates program. In no way, shape, or form I'm asking you to micromanage, but do you receive a report or an assessment to find out the effectiveness of this program? Do you have data?
Well, not formally, but we were pleased a couple of years ago to learn that the local program was nationally recognized. I think it was last year or the year before. So gaining that national recognition, means that something's happening positively.
And who is the go-to person for Jobs for Virgin Islands Graduates program?
That's a program under the Department of Labor, so I would say the Commissioner of Labor.
Commissioner of Labor, okay. I will definitely follow up with him because we have a lot of things on the books, and I'm not blaming you. Those individuals, senators before me, saw the wisdom to put those things in place, and we just want to make sure that they're actually performing. As we know, gambling has a good and a bad side, and we want to make sure that we're impacting the community in a positive way. And then as far as IT, I know all across government we're seeing a whole digitizing transformation. How are you digitizing and transforming the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission, and does your budget reflect that as far as being able to update and enhance your IT?
Oh, yeah, yes, not this fiscal year's budget, but in the prior years, our investment in IT infrastructure, which we have done, and it's continuing. We upgraded our entire IT infrastructure. We upgraded our hearing room with modern technology. So yes, and then we're in the process of trying to digitize all of our records. All of our records. We do have a digital process, but it wasn't for all our records, but now we're moving in that direction. Everything should be digitized.
Understood. And as far as capital outlays, I saw where you have vehicle, computers, servers, office furniture, other equipment, but you have anything pertaining to infrastructure, or you're cool with your infrastructure? I guess the person who you're renting from, they take care of that? Any capital outlays, any major projects or enhancement needed?
One minute.
We don't rent IT infrastructure. Oh,
no. Talking about the physical building.
Oh, the building. No, that's all taken care of with the Commission's internal funds.
So no need for capital outlays?
Well,
as far as infrastructure?
Not at the moment.
Understood.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that you would like to see, because sometimes in government we have to go based off of realistic collections and our revenues. But if there's anything you'd like to see enhanced or funded that you haven't been able to fund or won't be able to meet that mark for the FY 2025 budget, what would that be?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are currently looking at getting the internet gaming and gambling, online gaming initiated.
How much is that going to cost?
We don't know. We just issued a RFQ to do a marketing impact study, among other things, to project revenues and what resources will be needed to implement that. So we don't have a firm number at the moment, but we hope to get that within the next few months.
Okay, my time was called. Thank you for all that you do, and I hope the people of the Virgin Islands continue to gamble responsibly. God bless the Virgin Islands.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Senator James, for your line of questioning. Colleagues, we are about to wrap up. I don't know if any of you have a burning question for the Mr. Pickering or anyone on the team. Any burning questions, colleagues? Senator Francis Jr., you recognize.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Pickering, I guess your team, is there any additional reach out to VIGL since the approval of the licensure? Is there any timeline that have been established for them to commence the build out of the track? Where are we with that?
Yes, under the current statute, they are the applicant, the licensee, not the applicant because they have a license right now. They have 6 months from obtaining all licenses and permits to begin construction. Once that 6-month period has been reached, and they have not begun the construction, then we call them in. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, we had a discussion and we put it on our calendars that at a certain point, certain date and time, if we don't see any movement, we have to call them in and ask them, what's going on.
So that means you wouldn't wait for the 6 months before the trigger. I think that you're saying perhaps 120 days sometime before the 6 months, you intend to at least engage and ask a question?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for the time.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, I do note that you said that you haven't received any revenues from that particular entity since, from the Racino side, since the closure of the track. So when do we anticipate seeing some sort of revenues coming back? Do you have any, is there any anticipated timelines?
Well, once the casino is up and running, they had indicated to us during our many discussions that they were looking at a timeline of 14 to 16 months to construct it and be operational. But hopefully that happens. And, but we find out when we meet with them again.
Okay, so 14 to 16 months will take us somewhere closer to the middle, closer to the 2025, 2020, yeah, end of 2025, give or take. Pardon?
Early 26.
Early 26, okay. Early 26. All right, thank you. All right, I'll allow you, did we have any through the chair request? So we have one through the chair request. And we're asking for you to provide an updated operating expense report to June 30th of 2024. And we're also going to ask you to provide us with an updated projected expense report for FY 2025. So in all categories, your personnel, your associated fringe. Did you give us that already? Let me make sure I ain't over asking you.
Yes, I did.
You did, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you did, yes.
Yes.
Okay. My apologies. So just that one through the chair request, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
So you can give us a 30-second close.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair, to you and all the honorable members of this body for the opportunity to present to the Committee on Budget, Appropriations and Finance the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission's fiscal year 2025 budget. I wish to thank my colleagues, Commissioner Herman Purcell and Commissioner Renee, for their assistance, the guidance, and their input during this budget preparation process. Last but certainly not least, to our dedicated executive staff and all employees of the Commission, I express my heartfelt thank you for your contributions to this effort and your continued professionalism and dedication. It is greatly appreciated. And on another note, Madam Chair, it is public knowledge that you won't be in the body for the 36th legislature. And I want to thank you for the respect and courtesies that you have extended to us in all our appearances here, when you were the vice chair and then subsequently the chair. Even though sometimes you look like you're scowling at us and you won't show us that pretty smile, but I want to wish you well in whatever your future pursuits are. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And I'm leaving the legislature, but I'm definitely not leaving the people of the Virgin Islands. Be assured of that. Okay, but you made me think of one other question as you were talking, because you know how it is. One thing you didn't... Yeah, you didn't share with us whether or not there's any appetite out there for casino licenses coming to the Island District of St. Croix.
I have heard some rumblings, but nothing is officially before the Commission.
Okay. All right. And does the Commission do any marketing or anything like that to bring casinos to St. Croix? Are you required to do that? I'm not certain if you are.
No, we're not required to. That was going back to 85, 77. That was the function of the Department of Tourism.
Okay.
And I don't know what they have done, quite frankly, over the years, but they were also allocated a percentage of the casino revenue funds to do just that.
Yeah. We have to look into all of this. So I am. Thank you for your candor and for your upfront sharing of the information, because if that's not working and it's not aligning, then we need to have a deeper dive conversation about how do we really stay on top of this, because this is a major revenue generator for the territory. So our responsibility is to continue to grow our economy. So that's something that I believe is very important to us to focus on as we speak. So thank you again for all that you do. Thank you to the commissioners, the other commissioners that's here. And thank you for being here with us today. If we have any other follow-up questions, be certain that you will hear from us with regards to anything else that we need to ask that wasn't answered or we're not clear on today. Colleagues, we are about to wrap up today's meeting. We've been having a marathon meetings, so today is a short day so we could do some constituent business. I want to thank the central staff, my staff, all of my colleagues and their staff for all that they do to ensure that we are able to get these meetings done, and of course the post-audit division, which is an integral part to this work. Well, so without further ado, I will close this meeting. The Committee on Budget, Appropriations and Finance meeting of July 17th, 2024 is hereby adjourned.